Hello and welcome to the Philippines. This is Bacolod City on Negros Island. Notice the wide, smooth, and relatively clean sidewalks here. That was something that impressed me in Bacolod City. And I've been living in Cebu City for about 4 years, and I've talked to a lot of people who have visited here, who have lived here, and I've gotten good reports, bad reports. So I decided I was going to get out of town, get out of Cebu City, and I definitely, you need to do that every once in a while. You just need to get up and go someplace, experience a new area. This is a large, very large old church, not so far from SM Mall. And when I arrived by bus, it was nighttime. This was the first walk I took. A guy at the hotel said it is safe to walk around Bacolod because there's a policeman on every corner. Perhaps in the busier areas, but not on every corner of every part of the city, of course. But anyway, I was not accosted, didn't have any issues or problems. Uh, I will say that I was surprised in that my impressions were different from what everybody had told me about Bacolod. You get these ideas in your head from what people tell you, and I was impressed with how well managed it seemed to be. It seemed to be relatively clean, and I walked a number of streets for a couple of days. Stayed in two hotels. Didn't have reservations, just walked into hotels. In fact, the first hotel that I went to, it burned down a few days earlier, so I had to go find a different one. I'll show you those. There are about four malls in town, I think, large malls: City Mall, SM Mall, Ayala Mall, Robinson's Mall, and a place called Chinatown Square that I wanted to get over to, but I just didn't have the time. Spent 2 nights and not quite 2 days there, which is really a short visit, but it gave me an introduction. And this is just down the street from SM Mall. Huge, I think they have a public market down here, and then a huge number of restaurants and food stalls, a big food court area, one right after the other after the other. So you can get anything and everything that you want there. And I had just eaten, so this wasn't going to work out for me. But I did talk to a number of people there. Everybody was really friendly, offering me all sorts of things. Bacolod City's population, the city itself, is probably about 600,000 people. The Bacolod metropolitan area is about 800,000 people. I thought Iloilo City was a much larger city than Bacolod, but they're not that different. In fact, I think Bacolod is considered the second largest city after Cebu City in the Visayas, and Visayas after Cebu City, and the metropolitan area of Iloilo is actually pretty close to 1 million, just a little bit bigger than the metropolitan area of Bacolod City. But anyway, they're good sized cities. They each have malls, they each have a number of hospitals. I think there's at least 3 hospitals in town, I believe. The airport is out a ways. You can fly in. The airport there originally was an airport closer into to Bacolod. They closed that, I believe, and they've got the Bacolod City Airport now, and about 25 kilometers outside of town. Yeah, so you can fly in there from a number of different other cities, and you can take, I think you can take jeepneys out of there into town for less than 100 pesos into Bacolod. You can take vans into town that service the different cities into Bacolod for probably about 150 pesos, about $3. A taxi, and I've read that they have grab car services there. Not sure about that, but that's what I've read online. A grab car taxi would probably cost you anywhere from 400 to 550 pesos, so $8 to about $11 for that 25-kilometer ride. Not bad. I believe they also have airport shuttles for about 100 pesos, $2. I think you can, if you want to go on a tour, you can rent a car and a driver for around 2,500 pesos, maybe a little more depending on where you want to tour for the day. Bacolod is called the City of Smiles, and I found most of the people to be very friendly. 2008, Money Sense magazine rated Bacolod as the best place to live in the Philippines. In 2017 and 2019, it was rated as the top Philippine model city, most livable city by the Manila Times. So it's a big BPO, business processing outsourcing city, third fastest growing city in that category in the Philippines. So it has a lot of potential there. I didn't plan this trip very well. They've got I think 2 bus terminals, and I got off at the north bus terminal, I guess, and got in a taxi and pulled up a map on my phone, and I pointed to a hotel and on my phone, and I said, "That's where I want to go." He said he didn't speak English, but it turned out he spoke better and understood better English than what he said he did. Went there, and the hotel had burned down. The second place I picked off of my map, it had not burned down. I walked in, and they said yes, they had a room, but they didn't have economy room. Not sure if they didn't or not, but anyway, the standard room, good size room, air conditioning worked. I never did try the television and the cable television. There is not Wi-Fi in the room, but good sized room. Foam mattress was comfortable enough, and the shower had hot water. The view out the window. I reached out. I washed that window. Told them that I washed the window, and anyway, it worked for one night. And then I moved to another place, and I complained actually. I complained about the dirty window, and that's a story for another time, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, quite a bit of room. I think there's a lot of students up here. A lot of younger students living in here. It probably is some type of school or BPO center working out of here, perhaps. And they had a restaurant. The good thing is, even when I arrived here about 8 in the evening, they had brewed coffee. The restaurant was still open. I had brewed coffee, something I hadn't had since morning. So that was good. Breakfast was good, and anyway, that was my experience there. It is an option. My walk-in rate for the standard room at Middletown Inn was 895 pesos, or about 18 US dollars. And this was the White House, not very far from where I was, and it cost me, I think, pretty close to 1,500 pesos, and I did it through Agoda online, and they didn't ask for a credit card on the website. I looked at 2 rooms actually. The first room they put me on didn't really have a window, and I felt a little claustrophobic in there. I like windows. Gives you some light. It just seems so dark, not enough lighting. So they finally moved me over here, a bit reluctantly, but this room is actually good for, probably with the couches and everything, probably good for 6 or 8 people, because there's a mattress underneath that first bed that can be pulled out, maybe even the second one. But a large room, and I appreciate the fact that they gave this to me. My experience with the internet in my travels, it was a bit of a wake-up call, because I'm spoiled with the internet that I have, and I've got fast internet with fiber optic now, and I've been having a lot of trouble with getting usable internet as I'm traveling. So that's something to consider. And then they did not accept credit cards, so that's cash out of your pocket. So now, I'm sure they have ATM machines in a town the size of Bacolod, no problem. I could have gone to an ATM machine and got more money if I needed to. Same thing in Iloilo City. But as you travel, you need to think about those things if there's an issue. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the typhoon that's presently hitting a big part of the Philippines and how that affects travel as well. This will give you an idea. The seas were not calm exactly. This is the trip, 1 hour trip over from Bacolod to Iloilo City a few days ago. And you can see that other fast ferry. That's what I'm on, is a fast ferry. And you can tell that we're bouncing around a little bit. There's some white caps out there. And this is more than just a big lake out here. You're on the sea, the ocean. And this was not a stormy day. So I'm taking some precautions and deciding not to go to the ferry terminal, check out of my hotel, go to the ferry terminal, because they have put into effect a level 1 typhoon warning in this area. So just not rather take the chance of getting stuck in a terminal than trying to hunt for another hotel, waste a whole day doing that sort of thing. So anybody who has watched hurricanes, typhoons, cyclones over the years understands that as good as the weather people, the scientists are, they're rather unpredictable, and you will usually get several different models of different organizations thinking, trying to determine what path they will take. Anyway, look at this, the way it goes up here. A lot of these typhoons come out of the Pacific, and this is the Philippines here, and many of them go north. Now this, I believe, is the 20th typhoon cyclone to come into the Philippines area of responsibility this year, 2019. And this little box here is the Philippines area of responsibility internationally. That's when the Philippines, a place like Pagasa here, using their website, will start tracking it. And anyway, let's zoom in here a little bit and see what we have. And they've got, this is like flood warnings, general flood advisories. This is level 2, starts at level 1, 2, and 3 up here. And I have not felt the effects, even though some typhoons have come through the Cebu area. They generally are, they downgrade as they hit the outer islands, Samar and Leyte. And I haven't really felt that much. Anyway, this is Surigao over here is in the, I think, level 1. Dinagat Islands here. Central Cebu, Central Visayas, Cebu area is going to get hit. I am over here in Iloilo. So it's affecting my travel. I've decided here's Dumaguete, here's Iloilo up here. And so we're in this whole area here. Guimaras Island, which I can almost throw a rock and hit from where I'm at. We're in level 1, which isn't that bad. It's the first level, but still I did not want to get out on a boat or go down to the terminal and then find out that the ferries are not running because I believe they come up around here and come up over here and into Cebu City. So it's even worse up in here. You get into the 2 levels. And this is projected out to where it's going to go. This is Antipolo, Manila up here. So much of this area is covered in the typhoon warnings. And we'll switch over to a site called windy.com. Cool site. And you can use it any place in the world, and you can plug in all sorts of different information: wind, rain, temperature, clouds, waves, air quality, many more layers, pressure, and snow, new snow depth, thunderstorms, dew points, freezing altitude, just a ton of things that you can plug in there. Waves, ozone layer, CO2 concentrations. Amazing site. Anyway, it gives us a little different look here. And here again, let me zoom in here a little bit. So it's going to hit, the eye of the storm is going to hit up in here someplace. But here's where I started at, Cebu City, and came across here. You have Toledo City, you have San Carlos City, took a bus up around here. And Bacolod is over here, Iloilo is here. I was going to go over to Negros Island for a day or two, but it's raining pretty hard off and on today. So I've pretty much given up on that idea. And got a friend up here in Rojas City. He was in Iloilo City for a while, didn't care for it. Rojas City is a much smaller city. So anyway, this is bringing in a lot of these low pressure systems that cyclones, hurricanes are. It's sucking in a lot of clouds, a lot of precipitation into the center. Anyway, a little more about Bacolod City. Interesting couple of days I spent there. And I've got a new appreciation for Bacolod. Just about like every place I've been, I get a new appreciation for those areas. And until you visit an area, you really don't know. You see videos, and it gives you some ideas. People tell you different things about cities. Bacolod over here on Negros, Dumaguete down here. Bacolod is a bigger city than Dumaguete. And anyway, from Cebu City, where I'm at, a larger city, the largest city after Manila in the Philippines. And Bacolod City, Iloilo over here. So it's got an airport out here by Slay. And so you can get around by bus, by ferry, and by air. So let's zoom in here. One thing about Bacolod, you've got mountains up in here. You've got a large mountain, I think right up in this area. Slay City, you can take a tour. There are tour operators. You can go to the ruins and a number of historical areas. It seemed to me, in the area that I was in, that it was laid out much more grid-like. So therefore the traffic, you can see the grid here, and I wanted to go to the central part of the city. I believe this is this the pier area here, perhaps? But this area here is much more grid-like, and the traffic seemed to be moving pretty good. As you get out into different areas, a little bit different. Burgos Avenue, I walked Burgos, I believe SM Mall is public plaza, I believe SM Mall is down in this area. I think the Ayala Mall is further down in this area, I believe. I walked down here at night, the big warehouse area down in here. Down in this area, I believe. But it has a lot of potential for people who are looking for a place to move to, retire to. And there are no beaches in the vicinity is what I was told. Because I asked, where are the near beaches? Quite a ways out. And I did see over San Carlos when we took the bus, got on a bus, took a ferry from Toledo City over here. As we were going up this way, I did see a number of different signs for resorts down these different roads. Have no idea what the beaches are like there. So one way to find out is go over here on the satellite image, and it sometimes will give you a little bit better idea. But this isn't going to. In this case, it's not going to help out very much. Here you go, different beaches. as you zoom in. And well, looks like sand. It may be more of a rocky beach, but it may be a sand beach. Can't really tell. The resolution is not good enough. Go over here to Bacolod, and you don't see listed up and down. You don't see anything listed as a resort. Oh, there it is, a Villa Rosa beach resort. Here's a beach resort. South of Bacolod a ways. Going north, not really anything listed, although as you zoom further in, then you can see more detail. So thank you for watching. Please, this is SM Mall I'm coming up to here. Thank you for watching. Please like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Safe travels to you all wherever you're at, and I'll see you next time.